Hello everyone and welcome back to the Raspy Dispatcher. This video is a part of my series, Dispatch Recruit. And in this series, we take a look at everything you need to know about the process of how to become a dispatcher. Now this video in this series is dedicated to Criticall. So, the moment you've been waiting for, here are the answers to the Criticall test. Just kidding. I don't have the answers to the Criticall test, but what I do have are some tips and tricks and access to a study guide that is going to help you dominate your Criticall test, which, in my opinion, is probably going to be the toughest hurdle in this process of applying to become a dispatcher. So what is Criticall? Why are we even talking about it? Now, Criticall is a pre-employment test that is utilized by most agencies to determine if you, the applicant, have the underlying abilities to do the job as a dispatcher. Now this is determined prior to any training you're going to receive if hired, if you just have the underlying capabilities, abilities, skills to do what you need to do in order to become a dispatcher, to do the job. So this includes the ability to multitask and just to navigate the use of a computer. Because of this, no special knowledge is needed about dispatching prior to taking the Criticall test in order to be successful on the test. Let me repeat. You do not need to have any, zero, nada, none dispatch experience prior to the Criticall test in order to be successful. This is strictly your abilities to do the job that is necessary to be a successful dispatcher. Now, that test prep guide I mentioned earlier is not created by me. It's actually created by Criticall, the company who's going to give you the test. So, they actually have a lot of useful resources on their website for those who are going to be experiencing the Criticall test. There's going to be a link to their website in the bio, along with the link to the test prep study guide that they have prepared for those who are going to be taking the Criticall exam. So, what I'm going to do in this video is we're going to talk about that exam, that test prep study guide that they present. And I'm going to tell you about the top 5 things that I took from the test prep guide as someone who has completed and passed Criticall. Like I said, for those who want to, and you should, read the test prep guide more in depth, check out the link in my bio, and you can access it there. If you like what you see so far, you're getting the information that you're over here looking for, don't forget to like this video. So let's go ahead and jump right into that list of 5. Not in any particular order, just thrown out there, okay? So number 1, practice test questions before each section. There will be a practice question before each section of the test. Now this practice question will not be count against your score if you get it wrong, but it will give you an example prior to the section that actually counts for points. So do the practice questions. Take your time with the practice questions and understand fully what is going to be asked of you ongoing through that section of the test. What should you be focusing on? What should you be listening to? It's going to really help you dominate the test, raise your score by taking those practice questions seriously. Number 2, do not be surprised when you start typing and everything's capitals. Everything will be capitalized letters because it's designed to mimic dispatching, and the dispatching software always types in capital letters. So don't let it throw you off. Don't start checking if the cap lock key is on. Just keep typing because that is how the test is programmed to be. So don't let it throw you off. Number 3, you will be penalized if you skip a question without answering it. That is, of course, unless someone tells you, who's given you the test prior, that you won't be penalized for skipping. So assume you're going to be penalized if you do skip a question. With that being said, make sure to take that practice question seriously in order to avoid having to skip a question in any section. Number 4, during the test, you're going to be asked to quickly and accurately dispatch one of 4 services to a scenario that is presented to you. Those 4 services include fire, medical, police, and utility. So it's important going into the Criticall test that you know the definitions as defined by Criticall of these 4 services. Knowing this will help your decision-making ability section score go up tremendously. And Criticall even says experience shows that the better an applicant knows these rules, the better they will perform during the decision-making portion of the test. So let's go ahead and go over how Criticall defines these 4 services. The first service is the police department. Criticall advises that this service should be dispatched when someone is attempting to or threatening to physically harm another person, or when a person causes or in the process of causing harm to someone's property. The second service is fire. Criticall defines the dispatching of fire to be necessary when there are immediate signs of a fire in progress, such as flames or smoke being seen, the sounds of a fire alarm going off, or if a person is trapped or confined and in need of search and rescue. The third service is EMS, Emergency Medical Services. Criticall defines the need to dispatch EMS when there is an emergency requiring trained medical personnel to intervene. The fourth service is utility. Utility should be dispatched when there is a broken or malfunctioning public water system or electricity. Electricity including power lines, traffic lights, traffic stops. This also includes gas systems for home heating, or black sewer drain pipes. So let's go ahead and talk through the 2 examples provided by Criticall in this test prep guide. And let's see if you can get the answer. Based upon the decision rules shown above, which are the descriptions of each service and when you would dispatch them out, who would you dispatch to the following scenario? There is a man attempting to throw rocks to harm children. I repeat, the scenario is that there is a man who is attempting to throw rocks in order to harm children. Who would you send? Fire, medical, the police, or utility? If you chose police, you're correct. You're already halfway there to knowing the decision rules going into Criticall. Let's take a look at one more example to help make sure you got it right. Second scenario is there are electrical power lines down following a severe storm. Who would you dispatch? Again, the second scenario is there are power lines down, electrical power lines down following a severe storm. Who would you dispatch? Police, fire, medical, utility? Who? If you got utility, then you are correct. That is who you should dispatch to the above or previous scenario we just stated. So the fifth and final tip that I took to heart when reading this test prep guide is practice giving instructions on a very basic map. Here's the map provided by Criticall on the test prep guide. You want to be able to give directions north, south, east, and west. Once you become a dispatcher, you're going to be doing this every single day of your career. But going into Criticall, it's important to be able to do this prior because it's a very basic skill and it's a basic requirement for this job. So I hope that covered some questions you have while preparing for Criticall. If I missed something, looking for something specific that I didn't cover, go ahead and leave a comment below. I'll make sure to try to get to answer those questions. If you did like this video, thought I had some good information, make sure to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on anything in the future. Thanks for watching. This has been another video from the Raspy Dispatcher. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed our channel. As always, information provided in these videos are for informational purposes only. If and when information presented conflicts with your department's general orders and procedures, always follow guidelines set and presented by your employer. We hope this video provided some tools to add to your dispatch tool belt, and we hope that the information presented helps continue to provide education and inspiration on how to better serve our communities. And with all that, control, This is the Raspy dispatcher. You can show me 908. Logging off for now.